Chez and welcome to my YouTube channel all about the saxophone. Welcome to beginners who have never played before or are looking to buy a sax, or maybe you played when you were at school and you're looking to take it up again and you don't really know where to start and what to buy. So these are my kind of essentials that I think you should really have before you start. Just get them all in one go, take the financial hit and run with it. So first of all, you will need a sax, obviously. I have done a video on buying your first sax, so do check that out. Here's a link. Check that out first in terms of what the best instrument to get is. Most sax shops will do like a hiring system, so if you're not quite sure and you don't want to make the investment yet, a lot of them will let you hire. A lot will even do a hiring system where if you decide to buy it, they'll give you a big discount based on how long you've hired for. And no, I'm pretty sure Howard's do that in London. That's by Baker Street. I would also really recommend sax.co.uk. They're great guys. They've been wonderful to me and given me lots of help along the way. So they are Tottenham Court Road. Sorry, my phone's going off. Soundtrack to my life. So yes, so hiring I would recommend. If not buying, but oh god, I'm drifting. What was it saying? Okay, next up. So when you get their first sax, it's likely that the shop will give you the cheapest reeds they can. They often give you Rico, which are fine. Rico Royals, they're fine. I would just say that, you know, as a beginner, you want to kind of use some of the better stuff because it's an awkward time as it is. So I would recommend you buy the brand Vanderin. Is better for a beginner. Vanderin Traditional. They come in a dark blue box, and the quickest place to buy them at a really reasonable value is Reeds Direct. They're literally distributed the next day. It's a click of a button. Couldn't be easier. So as a complete beginner, you want size 1.5. As I say, dark blue box, Reeds Direct. I'll put the link in the description box to that. So I wouldn't use those Rico Royals or whatever random brand they've chucked in. They will sound pretty nasty. Next up, really important one that they often don't give you with the sax is a cleaning cloth. This is disgusting. This was once white. Anyway, but this goes to show how often I use it. So you need one of these. If yeah, so these you can get on Amazon or whatever. You just need a pull-through cloth. And, you know, if you want to be cheap and make one yourself, all you really need is some sort of, ideally chamois, but I guess maybe a hanky or something would do, a bit of string and a weight down the end, because the main thing, you want to get in the habit of every time you play, giving it a quick clean. So taking the reed off, putting that weight through, mainly the neck joint. The body doesn't matter as much because it's bigger, so that condensation, all the spit that you've put down, it will dry out on its own, but you do need to dry this bit every single time. If you leave moisture in there, it's going to mold, seriously, and you'll get ill more easily. You'll be more susceptible to colds and things if you're literally inhaling mold all the time. You'll get lip infections and all that kind of jazz. So please do keep your saxophone clean. It's so worth it, apart from the fact that it's a really expensive instrument. You don't want to just let it mold. What else? So they will give you a sax strap, but again, often they'll give you one that's not amazing quality. So you ideally want, this is a stupidly expensive one, this was a beautiful gift, but you ideally want one that's got a decent cushioning on your neck because you're going to be taking a lot of weight on your neck. So again, check out Amazon. Just watch out. They often recommend, if you look for like a cushioned neck joint for, let's say, an alto sax, they often have a stretch to them, which is actually quite annoying. You want one that doesn't stretch and bounce around the place, just one that's stiff. If you have back problems or you're quite a small person, I would recommend the ones that are a harness. I've done a quick tip on harnesses actually, so check that out there and see if that might be better for you, or you could get both. You know, if you're playing in public, you can play on one of the ones that's a bit simpler, but when you're practicing on your own, just wear the harness because it's much better for your neck. I have permanent neck damage now from having been really vain and played on a really nice one my whole life instead of looking after my back properly. Okay, what else? So we said about the strap. Other things they might throw in the mix. So they'll just give you like a metal ligature. This is a metal ligature, but this is a stupidly expensive. This is a Vanderin Optimum, which does all sorts of special things. Hardly any points are actually touching the reed so it can vibrate very freely. You don't need anything as fancy as that, but you may find that the ligature they give you is actually quite fiddly and quite difficult to put together as a beginner. I would recommend Rovner do it like a soft ligature. It's made of leather and it just sort of shoops around, one screw. It's much easier to get the reed in and out if you're finding the whole thing a bit technical. And again, you can get those on Amazon, I think for like 20 quid or something. And if you're spending money anyway, let's make the setup one that you really enjoy playing and isn't, you know, a hassle to use. So I'll put a link to that in the description box as well. The ligature, I would change that up from the one they give you. One last thing. When you're very first playing, you'll find it more comfortable if you get a mouthpiece patch. So these are super cheap from wherever, Amazon. I recommend the Yamaha ones. You don't buy 3 of them quite so quickly. Again, I think pretty sure you can pick these up on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description box. And it just stops you having the vibrations right against your teeth, especially if it's something you're not used to. So it absorbs the vibrations for you and protects that mouthpiece for you. So you've made this investment in a saxophone. There's no point chomping your way through it. You want to protect the instrument as well. So I'd recommend those. Lastly, so you've got this saxophone, you don't know where to start. Obviously, look at my beginner series. I've got videos on making your first sound, how to control that sound, playing your first tune, where your fingers go, all of those kind of things, all on my YouTube, so do check those out. If you're looking to read music and make some progress there's a few books that I would recommend. You don't want to go crazy and buy hundreds, so let's just get my kind of top 3. For absolute beginners, these are a little bit patronising for adults. It's very hard to find an adult beginner saxophone book. There's lots for sort of piano, because I think quite a few adults take up piano or guitar or something, but because it's just a small market, no one's really published many books. If anyone actually has one that they're like, oh, I found this great book that's not patronising and doesn't have tunes like Here We Go Round the Mulberry Bush, then do comment. I'd love to know, because I've not really discovered anything. But I quite like the Andy Hampton Saxophone Basics. It comes in an orange cover. I wish I had it somewhere. I'm just looking in my huge library to see if I have it anywhere to show you, but I can't see it. So yeah, it's an orange cover and it just comes in stages, and you can get through one of those stages easily a week. It comes with a CD, which is something I really approve of, because it gives you a really good sense of pulse. So you're always supposed to practice it with the CD, which stops you from hesitating and makes you just kind of get on with it and really develop a good sense of pulse. And it just breaks it down into nice sections. It shows you the fingering, it gives you little bits of theory and information along the way, and it's got little boxes to fill in to check that you are absorbing everything that's on that stage and that they've given you. And the other thing is you get to about stage 12 or something, and then it says concert pieces, and those are actually grade 1 standards. So it's a nice goal. You think, oh well, in 12 weeks time, if I was getting through one of these a week, I could be grade 1 standard, which would be like, oh, phone going off, soundtrack to my life. So anyway, yeah, so that's a really good beginner book. Alongside that, I would recommend the Paul Harris Improve Your Sight Reading series. Now this is much more boring, but again, it's really nicely broken down into different stages, and that's really, really going to get your reading up. He only does them in grades 1 to 3 and then 4 to 5. Oh, so shut up, phone. Shush you. I'm talking to the YouTubers. Where was I? Yeah, so it does all the way grade 1 to 3, so you maybe get through those stages a little bit slower, but yeah, that's a really, really great book. Lastly, for a bit of fun, I discovered a book that's called Really Easy Disney. And it takes Disney tunes and literally breaks them down into like, I'm gonna be a mighty king, so enemies beware. It just makes it a lot easier for you. And again, it comes with track. So it just makes it sound like a piece a lot quicker. So it's just a bit, so I can think it could be a bit demoralising at the beginning when you first start an instrument. You desperately want to be able to make a tune out of it, but it just sounds like honk, honk, honk. So, so that's another one for a little bit of fun. That's really, really simple and all in a nice range for the instrument for a beginner. But do check out my beginner series. There's loads of top tips there and a few tunes to get you started. Hope this was useful for you. If I've left anything out, such as, oh, another one you might want a sax stand. This is a K&M one, which is a bit expensive. You could get something much more basic than that on Amazon. But that's useful as well. It means you don't have to get it in and out of the box every time. So once you've got it all set up, you can just leave it like that. But don't forget to clean it every time you play, even if you're just going to pop it on the stand. I think that's everything. That's your kind of beginner kit. That's your starter kit. I'll put a list so that's a bit clearer in the description box with links as well. Hope that was handy for you. Do subscribe to me. These lessons are free. Free stuff is so much better than stuff you pay for. I love free stuff. And if you're interested in what I'm up to in my playing and my career and what I'm doing and where I am in the world, then follow me on Twitter and Instagram as well. I am there. Links to them in the description box too. See you next time, peeps. Bye.